Welcome to Arlington, Texas, everybody. We got triple digits in temperature. It's going to be a nice hot night for baseball. Mariner fans making their way into Globe Life Park. Good to see them as we get you ready for the second game of a series with the Rangers. This is Mariners Baseball on your TV. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew here in Arlington. And the 43rd president of the United States of America, one-time managing general partner of this ball club, and his wife Laura are here. George H.W. Bush, good to see him here. Huge baseball fan, a bicycling enthusiast. And I've talked to a friend of mine from going way back who used to work for President Bush. He said, if you want to get into a baseball discussion, he can hang with anybody. He's that good. Kevin Sullivan, that's
quite a bit. We see him here a lot.
Absolutely. Kevin Sullivan, that's who it was. Kevin used to be the PR guy for the Dallas Mavericks, went on to work for President Bush. Met him back in our NBA days, and I saw, matter of fact, Kevin was at spring training 2 seasons ago, and he was telling stories about talking baseball with 43. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order for this evening against Big Sexy Bartolo Colon.
Mariners starting lineup brought to you by Jack in the Box. A couple of changes. D. Gordon is going to lead things off, but then it's Mitch Haniger hitting second. Segura, a rare day off for him. Haniger with a double in the 12th inning last night, scored the go-ahead run. Denard Span will hit third in the lineup. Then hitting sixth, Ryan Healy, a couple of hits for him last night. More importantly, he had the go-ahead RBI in the 12th for the Mariners. For Colon, see his numbers overall. He has really struggled lately. 5-10 on the year, ERA over 5, and 123 and a third. He has 71 strikeouts, just 22 walks. Opponent's hitting .277, but he's given up 24 home runs on the year. And a look at the defense. Joey Gallo will get the start in right field. Started in left last night, eventually moved over to center, but getting the start in right tonight. Andrews Odor playing up the middle. Robinson Chirinos will do the catching. He was the DH in last night's ball game. For Colon, this will be his third start against the Mariners. They have a pretty good idea of what he is about. Again, he will throw his fastball a lot as you take a look at what he's done in his career. His fastball about 81% of the time, his average fastball at 88 miles an hour.
You were 2 for 6 against them back in the day in his
early
days.
RBIs, don't forget about the RBIs.
No, I was getting there. A couple of knocks, a couple of bullets I'm sure you hit to the gap. Well, but at 45, I tipped my cap to him, yes. But he was bringing it back in those early days.
Oh, yeah, he was 95 to 97 miles an hour. Again, now his fastball at 88, and he's just going to try to locate down and away.
D. Gordon gets on the first pitch, grounds to Odor, 1 away. .98 degrees at the moment. It's been flirting with 100. It was about an hour ago.
Yes, what a career he has had. Imagine that I ended up facing him. Edgar has faced him. Ichiro, of course, has faced him. Scott Brocious has also faced him. He's been around.
Longevity, not bad.
No.
Here's Mitch Haniger batting in the 2 spot. 2 for 6 last night. Gene Segura getting a blow tonight. He and Mike Zunino, day game tomorrow. How much weight did you lose in a night like they had last night? 12 innings.
Yeah, that's
temperature, high 90s.
High 90s. I think even when the game was finished, it was still 90 degrees outside. So yeah, these guys lost a lot of water last night. I'm sure that they were hydrating quite a bit in the days before this. Rob Nodine does a nice job. So, yeah, you are definitely going to lose some weight. There's no question about it.
Was there as much an emphasis on hydrating in this kind of heat when you played early on? Because I know in football things have changed dramatically.
The one thing that had changed while I was playing is initially it was, yes, you're going to drink your water throughout the game, and now, and even towards the end of my career, it was more of you need to do that 2 or 3 days before you get started in this kind of heat, and that's what the guys are trying to do.
And when you get up in the morning, bang down a couple of bottles.
You have to.
2-2 here to Haniger. Fly ball right field. Drifting back is Joey Gallo, 2 down.
We talked about him using his fastball, and there you can see it. He's in third, 81%. Paxton right there at 78%. James, of course, is going to be 94 to 98 miles an hour. And Colon, he's going to be in that 87, 90 mile an hour range. So he's trying to locate.
See Paxton on Thursday. in Houston. Here's Denard Span.
Opponents are hitting 267 against his fastball, but he's given up 17 home runs on the fastball. 24 home runs overall.
Span, when he bats third in the order, hitting .364 with the Mariners. Couple of doubles, a triple, a homer, and 3 runs batted in. Span got into last night's game. Went 1 for 2, had a double in the 11th. Bartolo Colon making his 40th career start against the Mariners, 21-12, a 3.77 ERA. He's won his last 5 decisions against them.
Tried a slider that time.
Good win last night for the Mariners, coming on the heels of that must-have win in Seattle against Toronto on Sunday. Colon throws a 1-2-3 first inning. Glad you are with us. Mariner baseball. Felix Hernandez going to take the mound when we return. Got the Rangers, they've got Houston, they've got the A's on this road trip. Let's take a look at the batting order for Jeff Bannister's Texas Rangers.
Chu will lead things off, but Elvis Andrus hitting third today. He has a 17-game hitting streak. Picked up a base hit in last night's game, so hitting in 17 in a row. Hitting 6th in the lineup, Joey Gallo. You want to be careful with him. 29 home runs on the year. Carlos Tocci will round out the 9 for the Rangers. And for Felix, this will be his 23rd start on the year, an 8.9 record, 5.49 ERA. In 118 innings, he has 97 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .268 against Felix. And the defense, Cameron Maben in center. Andrew Romine will get the start at shortstop against Segura, getting the night off. Chris Herman will do the catching. Mike Zunino catching 12 innings last night at 90+ degrees. Gets this evening off. I would say he earned it.
Yeah.
Sure, he'll be back out there tomorrow for the day game.
Strike 1 to Chu. Went 0 for 6 last night. He struck out 4 times. Bounced into, raced in a double play. Felix. Oh yeah, good bobble job. Flip shot. 1 out. Good position.
For Felix's average fastball this year at 89 miles an hour. Primarily a curve and changeup, an occasional slider. That's well located. Looked like he had some run to it right off the outside corner and fielding his position. Ramiro Supermo on the ground ball right back at him. No problem.
Talking to Scott Service, he said he'd like to get 6, maybe 7 innings out of Felix here tonight. Rougned Odor.
You would typically hear that from the manager after you play 12 innings. The bullpen was used up last night.
You're right. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Again, Romine, the shortstop this evening.
Odor 0 for 4 last night. Felix has faced the Rangers more than any team in baseball. This is his 56th start. He's got a 19-24 record, 4.07 ERA. Perfectly placed is Romine for out number 2.
Well, he's faced the Rangers a couple of times this year. Both times no decision for Felix.
Elvis Andrus, the shortstop. Elvis last night 1 for 5 with an RBI. This Texas team, tough year for them, 49-65. They've never been over the 500 mark. The best they had, they were 1-1. One thing to be on the lookout for tonight from Felix. Mel Stoudemire said that Felix came up to him and says, teach me the cutter. May break it out here tonight. Romine in the hole. Again, strategically placed beautifully. And Felix throws a 1-2-3 inning, needing just 7 pitches to get out of what has been a notorious first inning for him this season. No score here in Arlington. The Emerald Queen Casino presenting the legendary Boz Skaggs September 15th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. By Jet Closing, buying a home? Jet Closing could save you time, money, and stress. Visit jetclosing.com. And by Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Nelson Cruz going to lead things off here in the Mariners' second, followed by Seager and Healy. Ellie 4 career hits against Cologne and 18 at bats, 1 a home run. Big man 2 for 5 last night. Cologne being very careful here.
And everything away from him.
Dude, I've seen you before. I know what you can do. There is a crush shot. See you later. Oh, baby, on a 3-0. Nelson Cruz, boom stick, baby, his 30th home run, his 72nd run batted in. Turn him loose.
Cologne has now given up 25 home runs on the year.
Nothing cheap about that. No. That was barreled. Nothing on the label.
Primera Supermo and the swing. Two-seam fastball, running it back, trying to hit the outside corner. Ends up right in the middle of the plate.
Full extension.
And that is right on the barrel.
It's 111 on the exit velo. I think it would have been in the neighborhood. I might have been a little bit too generous.
It's a little more like it, though.
Yeah, the other day, the broken bat,
100.
which is, he won't do that again. Here's Kyle Seager, 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. Sort of know why Nelly was grinning after the 2-0 pitch. He's sort of looking at Club like, that's all you got? These pitches stay hit. My goodness. Strike to Kyle. Home plate umpire Adam Pomari, Phil Cuzzy at first, Tom Hallion at second, and Ryan Blackney at third. You may have to play. I want to see the reaction of the guys and hear the reaction of the guys in the dugout when he goes deep like that. Because it must be. No, I know that. No, that's a given. But I'm just saying I want to see it and hear it. Because you know they just go nuts. Two and two to Seager.
He's trying EQC tracer everything away from Kyle. Lately has really been pulling the ball with some authority, and he's just trying to paint the outside corner, but that's more his style these days for Cologne. Set up away again.
That one's hammered down the line, and they coming back. Home run, Kyle Seager. His 19th. And we got a little home run derby working here in the second inning. 2-0 Mariners.
Kyle starting to heat up. Had a couple of home runs on the last day of the homestand. Was pulling the ball with some authority last night. And in his first at bat, he pulls the ball again. That's been his strength. Anything that's middle to middle in, easy, guys. Primera Supermo. Again, trying to paint the outside corner. Probably more middle away. Trinos, you can see him reaching back. That was right in the middle of the plate.
Head perfect position. His 13th career home run here in this ballpark.
It's well back into the stands.
109 the exit velo. Ryan Healy, get some yourself.
Ryan with a couple of hits last night. And then the go-ahead run in the 12th inning. Also had a double to right field.
Well, right now Seager's leading. His was 424. Cruz is 413. Good hop for Elvis Andrus. Flips over. Away. Hey everybody, get ready to belt out the lyrics to some of your favorite songs with thousands of fellow Mariner fans at Sing-Along Fireworks Night presented by T-Mobile. It all takes place Friday, August 17th after the Mariners host the LA Dodgers at 7:10. Get your great seats. Got some remaining at mariners.com. Chris Herman doing the catching tonight. Herman his 21st game. He is behind here, 0-2.
Pretty good fastball for Cologne at 90 miles an hour. He missed with it. It's about the range where he'll top out.
Outside, third time the Mariners go back-to-back homers in an inning. Last Sunday, Cruz and Seager did it. It's kind of momentum you look for at this stage in the season. This is game 114 for the fellas. That's sharply hit through the hole. Base hit, Chris Herman. Good two-strike hitting. Time for our AT&T Achieving More. Those career starts versus the Mariners. Roger Clemens, Frank Tanana Bartolo Colon right there with Jack Morris just going into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that. Jared Weaver had a nice run with the Angels. There's Cameron Maben, 1 for 5 with an RBI last night.
Beltre, the third baseman, was playing back. Sherman dives back into first. Probably not a bad idea. If it had been a strike, he was going to try to drop it down.
Coming back.
Rangers have struggled this year on the defensive side of things. They had a pretty good night last night. They were making all the plays. They've committed 85 errors. That's the most in the American League.
Jeff Patterson, Don Wakamatsu, former Mariner manager, on the left. He's the bench coach. Most recently, the last few years had been in Kansas City. Ned Yost. Aben's got another terrific athlete in his family. His cousin Rashad McCants, who played for the Timberwolves, first-round pick. 2005 North Carolina NCAA title team. A cousin named Jalen Reeves Maben, who played at the University of Tennessee and played for the Detroit Lions. Two and one.
Mariners are showing a lot of patience with Colon. He will try to work off the outside part of the plate, try to get you to chase. And if you get the count in your favor, typically he's going to stay with his fastball, and then that's when he's going to be in the middle of the plate and you can take advantage of it. And we've already seen that a couple of times here tonight.
2-1 here to Maben. 3-1. Andrew Romine on deck. Colon ready after a long look. 3-1 pitch. Runner breaks, pitch swung on, hit foul.
You see him just constantly changing speeds. 85 miles an hour. BP fastball. Topped out at 90 so far, and you see a little bit of everything in between.
Colon on a 5-game losing streak. His last win June 30th here against the White Sox. Went 5 innings and a 13-4 win.
He's lost 5 in a row, and his ERA is 6.5 over those 5 games. So he's really struggled.
And ask Chris Herman how many times pitchers have thrown to get him back to first. I know he's a pretty good runner for a catcher.
He's a good athlete. You would think running 3-1, he would run 3-2.
Three-two pitch. Herman takes off and ground ball to Scott Brocious. Do it again.
And again, this will be the 7th pitch coming up. All 6 pitches to Maben away from him.
Colon win at Toronto, beat the Mariners in Seattle, win against Oakland, win at KC, and a win against the White Sox. Herman runs again, bouncing ball through the hole, base hit. Herman will stop at second. Willie Calhoun, the left fielder, gets the ball back in. Good at bat by Cameron Maben.
Well, it was a battle, and again, right on the outside corner. A lot of movement on the 2-seamer, but he left it up in the zone. Finds a hole on the left side of the infield. 35 pitches so far for Colon. 21 strikes. Chirinos, the catcher, out at the mound, having a long conversation with him.
He's thrown 24 of those pitches here in this frame.
It's not what you want to do in these sort of temperatures, upper 90s at the start of the game.
Brings up Romine looking for his first career hit against Cologne. He's 0 for 6. Broken bat comebacker. Andrews for 1. Over Profar for 2. A 1-6-3 double play, but plenty of highlights in this inning as the Mariners get a couple runs on 4 hits and some monster home runs. Nelly on a 3-0 count. And then Kyle Seager on a 3-2 count. Just pounded him out of here. 2-0 Mariners. All right, Ants, thank you very much. The Felix and Beltre Show, part 1 for tonight. Best of friends and Manfred, they compete hard against each other and do a lot of trash talking in between. Adrian, a career .224 hitter against Felix with a homer and 3 runs batted in.
Good first inning for Felix through 7 pitches, 5 strikes, 3 ground outs, keeping the ball down in the zone. I think with Beltre, Beltre had the better of it early on, and lately it seems that Felix been able to get him out.
Felix with 10 walks career against Beltre, 9 strikeouts. Stepping in the bucket.
And pretty good breaking ball, well located, down and away. He's throwing some quality strikes. 10 pitches, 8 strikes. Yeah.
See what Felix does here. 0-2. Oh, made him look bad too. Not only did he strike him out,
Felix had to laugh at that one.
He's busting a gut. Oh my goodness! Oh, what a pitch! That was a terrific pitch to strike out Beltre. 1 out.
Well, here's a curveball and an emergency swing, and Adrian knows he's in trouble. He is going to hear about that forever. Look at this swing.
Oh, he knows it right there.
That's a great reaction.
Oh man,
and a good curveball.
That was one of the best ones we've seen this year.
Yeah, he left it up in the zone, but it had a lot of bite to it.
And you know, judging by the swing, Adrian was probably sitting fastball, right?
Well, he was completely, yeah, he was confused. He had no idea. So 3 ground outs and now a strikeout swing.
File that under good start. Profar 1 for 5 with an RBI last night. I've never seen in baseball, especially in the time when I grew up as a kid, guys looked at each other like they wanted to kill each other. But I've never seen 2 guys compete as hard as they do against each other with the friendship. I mean, and still have fun at the same time.
Been going on for years.
But again, you know, it's a singular kind of thing. I mean, I can't think of another. There's been a whole bunch of guys who pitched against their buddies, struck them out and everything. But certainly the reaction, they just let it really visceral. They bring it out, and they're not afraid. They're uninhibited with it.
Profar has been hot. 313 average with a home run. And a double last night.
Seager and Herman taking a look. Both of them slammed on the brakes there.
Linker almost lost his hat.
Can't have that. I defy you to find another coach in any sport that works as hard in the gym as Edgar Martinez.
Hit him in the head with his helmet.
Jeez. He already had a calf injury in the infamous basketball game in Minnesota. We don't need him to get hurt again.
No.
Ooh, yeah, big play. D. Gordon throws him out. Nicely done.
Great play.
That's outstanding. Ankle's feeling good.
Well, I mentioned with Profar, he's been hot for the Rangers and hits this ball on the button. A one-hopper. D. Gordon takes a hit away from him. Dives for it. Full extension and gets up quickly. Another ground out.
Big time play by D. Gordon. There's Joey Gallo. Made for this era, the launch angle era. Joey Gallo with 29 homers, 67 runs batted in, and 154 strikeouts. Tuno. Gallo 4 for 15 against Felix.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been behind a hitter.
Reno. Got the big shift on. It's like the Little Dipper out there with the two infielders in behind them. There you go. Looks like a Little Dipper. Look at that. That's all I know about Estrada. Don't ask me anything more, all right?
And you can see how deep Maben is playing just in front of the track.
3-1. Off the end of the bat. Put him in a category. I mean, he's an all or nothing guy. Kingman. Who else?
Rob Deere.
Rob Deere.
Remember Rob Deere?
Oh, goodness, yeah. If he hit it, boy, it was going to go.
But he would strike out a couple hundred times over the course of the year, too.
Yeah, buddy. A lot of breeze. 3-2 pitch. Rob Deere, yeah, with Milwaukee. Most of the time with Milwaukee, a lot with Detroit.
Another good two-seam fastball from Felix on the outside corner. It's early, but he has tremendous command so far. 22 pitches, 17 strikes, and they're quality strikes from him, and he's mixed it up. Using his slider a little bit more tonight. His curveball and changeup, we've seen that.
Boy, that thing is way up there. Who's going to get it? Seager. A couple of highlights: the fabulous curveball to strike out Beltre, and the great play by D. Gordon. Nothing across for the Rangers. Mitch Haniger, tonight is your last chance to donate to Fred Hutch. For your chance to meet the Mariners star right fielder, visit fredhutch.org/give. Here we go, top of the order. Second time through, D. Gordon, Mitch Haniger, and Denard Span.
Some early run support for Felix. A couple of home runs, Cruz and Seager. I just want to continue to add on.
This one hit well. Right center field. And that's going to one-hop the fence. D, keeping the helmet on. He's got an easy triple. An easy triple. He made sure the helmet stayed on as he was coming into second base. For D. Gordon, that's his 5th triple of the season.
Last night and now tonight, my eye out there on that right center gap. It's 407 feet away, and it looked as if the center fielder was shading towards left center, but Tochi able to get over there quickly. I thought if he hits a line drive, that 407 mark, he would have a chance to have an inside the park home run. It's an easy triple, as Dave mentioned. It wasn't standing up, no play at all.
Haniger can pick him up. Ground ball, Beltre throws him out. Beltre made D stop. Gonna bring up Denard Span.
Span grounded out to second his first time. Rangers will bring their infield in.
See what kind of arm Calhoun's got. Nope, not going to be a play here. Foul ball. Mariners minor league report. Cano 1 for 4. DH. See Robbie in Oakland next Tuesday. That'll get the job done and then some. Let's see if Denard can get a triple. I like his chances. He's thinking he's going to get this. Back-to-back triples. Heck of an athletic play by Beltre to keep that ball from getting away. 3-0 lead for the Mariners.
Bernard will pick up an RBI with that triple.
2 triples in the last 3 batters. Not bad.
Kochi, the center fielder, was really shallow. This is a solid line drive into center field, but no chance to catch it. It was Denard that ended up losing his helmet.
70th career triple. 4th as a Mariner.
Nelson hitting, well, the infield playing back halfway for Beltre and Profar on the corners.
3-0 Mariner lead. Beltre takes a base hit away from Cruz. That Span Magic batting in the 3-hole. 364 coming in. Batting third.
One of the things that's been interesting looking at the lineup today and seeing Haniger hitting second. Move him all over the lineup. When Nelson was out the start of the area, clean up. Of course, with Robbie was hitting third, and now he's hitting second. We've seen him hit 5th and 6th. With a long home run his first time up.
3-2 pitch and drove it well into the seats, right field.
Well over 400 feet.
424. Nelly went 413. With Robbie coming back next week, I have Scott Service. How are you going to work that? He basically said, as each day develops.
Yep.
But it's going to be great to have his bat available. Elvis Andrus going to take that one. RBI triple by Span after D. Gordon got it going there. Another run on the board for the Mariners. 3-0 Seattle. .62 and 51 in the National League West. You see Zona, the Dodgers, and San Diego still to come across in the interleague schedule that remains. Bottom third of the order, Robinson Chirinos, 1 for 4 as a DH last night's game.
I think who's going to be, I think it's Kershaw and Minaya at tonight's game. Dodgers at the A's. Good 2 innings for Felix. 6 in a row. 4 ground outs, 1 strikeout swinging.
Two of his best innings, back-to-back innings we've seen all year.
To start a game,
yep.
Yes. Good breaking ball. Mixed in the slider and his curveball. Probably a little bit more than his changeup. Rich Hill and Mania tonight.
Rich Hill, you bet. There's Stoudemire Jr., pitching coach. Felix doesn't have that dominating fastball like he had years ago. Father Time, as you know, is undefeated, but they're stressing to him, hey, do some of the things that Wade LeBlanc, Marco Gonzalez. Goes fastball counts a little softer, and
that's why he wants the cutter.
Yeah,
right. I'll throw the cut fastball.
Full count here to Chirinos. Willie Calhoun, a left fielder, to follow, and then Carlos Tochi, the center fielder. Just inside. Happy birthday to Wade LeBlanc. He's 34. It's a nice game last night.
Yes, he did.
Didn't give up much, if any, hard contact. Got lifted in the 7th inning, went 6 in the 3rd. Some nice work. I was asking him about the heat today. It's up around 100 today. So last night's game, it was 98. I said, was that the hottest? He said, nope. In 2012, a game in New Orleans, the heat index was 115.
Can't even imagine.
115. I said, how much
did you? Can you?
Not well. Willie Calhoun. He showered in a cold shower and came out and was still sweating. And he pitched 7 innings in that game. High and drive, base hit. Willie Calhoun 0 for 3, came off the bench last night.
Talking about the first 2 innings, and Felix keeping the ball down, but that is up and in the middle of the plate. It was Romine playing up the middle, hit it right over his head.
Calhoun, one of their top players in the system. We saw him make his debut here last year. Brings up Carlos Tochi. 169, no homers, 3 runs batted in. Mariners looking for a double play here. Bunt, and a good one. Felix gets out of the way, and Seager has nothing to shoot for, so the bases are loaded. A bunt, base hit.
Well, on this bunt, he's sacrificing, and there's a certain amount of timing that is involved. And Kyle, I think, would have made this play. Felix, not sure, gets there. Right about there is when Kyle lost his momentum, and the timing of it was off, so he decided not to throw it. And that was probably the right decision. But Felix in some trouble here now with the bases loaded.
Walk, hard single to center, and a bunt. Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo.
Ground ball back to Felix to start the game for the Rangers. He was able to handle it and throw him out.
Strike 1, Choo. Choo, a .262 hitter against Felix over the course of his career with 2 home runs. On 1, the count. Important road trip for the Mariners. This is game 2. Slow roller. Felix will get to first base. Did he get the bag? He did. Run scores. RBI for Choo. Scoring on the play is Chirinos. Calhoun to third and Tochi to second.
I'm mentioning Felix in the bag. I think it was the second little tap when he was able to reach the base. Almost looked as if he turned his ankle a little bit. Now everybody out of the dugout. But it seemed that he ended up turning his ankle some. And
we've seen that before.
We've seen it before.
Yep.
Yeah, typically when he covers, if he doesn't get his steps right, something will happen. And trying to move that ankle around. It'll be his right ankle. Gets off the mount right away. Hustles over, but he already looks like he's limping a little bit. And then right about there is when he's trying to find first. You can see him turn it.
Oh, man. Yeah, there it is.
Looked as if he was able to catch it, though. One, he didn't have his weight on it.
Wasn't as
And
bad
when
as
he came back down, when he put his heel back down, he had it straight at that point. So I think he was maybe was able to catch it. And it looks like he's going to be okay, I think.
Right before it rolled, he stopped it.
Yeah. Look at it. He misses the base. He knows he's short there. He catches his toe on it.
Tell you what, as bad as that was, it's good he caught his toe and not have it on top of the bag, because that might have caused the roll.
Yeah, and he can send a thank you over to Chu, too, because he was right there kind of in the middle of everything. And luckily, Chu had his head up. He was watching and went a little bit wide of first base so he didn't run into him. He'll stay in the game.
Here's Odor. Grounded out to shortstop. Romine playing up the middle against him. Some fouled off.
Odor has been hot. Just named American League Player of the Week. A slow start for him this year. So his numbers with the bases loaded in his career. .13 home runs on the year for Odor.
Drive, that's a fast outfield, and Spen is able to cut it off. 2 runs do score. In standing with a 2-run double, Rougned Odor ties the score at 3. His 18th double, RBIs 41 and 42.
And for Felix, this is on the outside corner. He just barrels it up. Play by Span to keep it going from going all the way to the wall. Bottom of the order for the Rangers. Productive, all 3 of them scoring.
We saw Odor late May, was hitting around 212, and since then, twice Player of the Week. Elvis Andrus grounded out to shortstop. Six man to the plate here in the 3rd with 1 out. That is through the hole. Here comes Odor around in 3rd. Tony Beasley waving him on. No throw. Rangers have the lead at 4-3. RBI single, Elvis Andrus. 5 consecutive hits here in the 3rd inning.
And Mel Stottlemyre out of the dugout. Felix obviously not happy. It's on the outside corner, but he finds a hole in the left side of the infield out in front of it a little bit. Like it was the slider that time.
Mel says his piece. 7th man coming to the plate, Adrian Beltre. Struck out on a terrific curveball from Felix the first time up. Just doesn't run a lot, but he's been working at a high success rate, 4 out of 5 in base stealing.
Through the first 2 innings, there wasn't hard contact at all off of Felix. He was pitching out of the windup, walked the leadoff hitter here in this inning from the stretch. Left the ball up in the zone a little bit more. Double play right here.
Oh, mine, D. Gordon. And a turn, a much needed double play. But a big inning for the Rangers. They score 4 times and take the lead 4-3. Matinee baseball at Safeco Field on August 22nd. The Mariners host the Astros. 1:10 start time. Round up your friends, clients, co-workers. Head to Mariners.com for tickets. Here's Ryan Healy to lead off this inning. You know how we have the hydroplane race on Mariner Vision in Seattle. They have the President's races in D.C. Well, here they just had an all-Texas affair with the oversized helmet, headgear and everything, the puppeteers. And Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, Nolan Ryan, and President George H.W. Bush. So coming out of the gate, 43 was dead last. And then the other 3 participants, when they got to the president on, there's a ground ball to Andrews. They got to where the president's box is, right at the first base dugout. They stopped and saluted. Here we go. Jim Bowie in the lead, Nolan Ryan, Davy Crockett. Here comes 43 coming up hard on the outside. They do their duty. They salute 43. That was cool. Well done, folks.
Chris Herman with a base hit his first time up. Base hit into right field.
He got a lot of interval running in, too, because he was running on a couple of 3-2 pitches.
Eventually made his way to second base on a base hit by Maben, who's waiting on deck.
It's all about the entertainment, and that was a good piece of entertainment. The what is it? The race? What's the race they have in Milwaukee? Oh, the Brats.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Mariners will be playing National League Central next year.
One of the things we were talking about last inning was the Mariners adding on to their score. They scored a couple of runs in the second on 2 solo home runs, and then scored another run in the third. A couple of triples in the third by Gordon and Span. Cologne, to the scouting report for the most part, is throwing his fastball and pitching away.
Nelly hit a 3-0 pitch leading off the second. Seager worked a 3-2 count. Nailed his into the right field lower stands. So far tonight, Mariners have 2 singles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. Get a couple of doubles that have the bye cycle. Rim shot, if you please. Strike 3 called.
I think that's surprising. It was away. You can see the EQC tracer, everything away in that last pitch. Elevated and right on the inside corner. Started in off the plate and run it back to the corner. It was a pretty good two-seamer.
First strikeout, 2 down here in the 4th. Four runs, 4 hits for the Rangers. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Mariners. Here's Maven. Worked the full count, delivered a base hit, left field. Colon gets it. Nice play for the 45-year-old to get off the mound. Get the 3rd out, top of the 4th. Little game 3 game set. And it's the Rangers 4th spot and a 3rd to take the lead. Mariners got 2 runs in the 2nd. Back-to-back home runs by Cruz and Seager. Yeah, I tell you what, you're gonna turn into a piece of bacon in this heat, pal.
Well, I watched Felix and he was able to run out to the mound. His warm-ups were fine, so turned his ankle in the last inning, but he looks as if he's healthy.
That is a fair ball. Phil Cuzzy right on the spot there. Felix on the spot as well.
Yeah, no problem getting over there.
Phil Cuzzy, the umpire at first. The Mariners get 2 runs in the 2nd. They get another in the 3rd. A triple by Gordon, and then Span tripled him home, so it's 3-0. But then in the 3rd inning, bottom 3rd of the order, goes to work. Walk, single, bunt, loads him up. RBI ground out, 2-run double, and an RBI single. There's Joey Gallo popped up short center field. Seager made the plays. They move all the infielders over to the right side.
Gallo in his first at bat hit a pop up so high we had no idea where it was going to land.
Right?
Kyle Seager ended up making the play out in center field.
Man, man. See what Felix comes back with here, 2-0.
So far, he's been able to throw his curveball for a strike when he's needed to. The curveball, but he misses off the plate.
Nelly had a 3-0 green light. I anticipate Mr. Gallo will have one as well.
29 home runs on the year. I would say you're right.
Pretty strong limb I went out on. Walked it. Second walk tonight. Time for a Jet Closing easy-to-use standings as it pertains to the West. There you have it. 5 back. A's, Mariners 7 back. Houston, wow, Houston 2-1 win at the Giants. They beat Bumgarner and company.
Bumgarner really pitched well in that game, and they scored the 2 runs late to win it.
And the night before, Gonzalez 2 runs down to the last strike. Can you believe that? Man, oh man. Lance McCullers Jr. out for about a month. So when we get to Houston, no McCullers, no Correa, no Springer, no Altuve.
No McCann.
And that's right, can't forget Big Brian. Told there's a little better shot than there was recently that Correa could be coming back. He's doing some rehab, so maybe we will see him at some point in the series. Here's Chirinos. Ground balls. Oh, didn't make the play. Gallo to third, and he's in. Had double play written all over.
Yes, it did.
E5.
Let's see what happens. Ground ball to his left. He's in pretty good shape. He just closed his glove a little bit early. Yeah. Primera Supermo. Yep, just closed his glove a little bit too early. Hit right off of the thumb of his glove.
Felix can pick him up now. Runners at the corners, 1 out.
Calhoun with a line drive back up the middle, his first time up for a base hit. And this is another line drive up the middle.
Right at Maven. Gallo eases home, 5-3. Rangers RBI in the set 5 for Calhoun. Two away. Yep, that error hurt.
That's costly. Bring up the number 9 hitter, Carlos Tochi. He was sacrificing his first time up. Laid down a perfect bunt. Was able to beat it out for a base hit.
Rangers were down 3-0. Now lead 5-3. Two down, runner at first. Pitch in there for a strike. Pitch number 51 for Felix as we play here in the 4th. Romine, they got him. Nice play. Stayed with it, didn't give up. They get the force at second, but some damage done with an error and then a sac fly to make it 5-3. instead makes a nice play there to end the Rangers' fourth. Good range and a very good throw to D. Gordon to get the force out. As the Rangers get a run unearned, no hits, and they're in one man left, 5-3 lead. And Mr. Romine, as it happens so often in baseball, makes a great play and he leads off the next inning. It'll be Romine, Gordon, and Haniger.
He's been busy in the field through the first 4 innings.
Sort of like the series up in Boston, where Gene was hurt. Ball seemed to find him all the time. He made all the plays, had some hits.
One of the things that we were talking on the pregame show of the radio today, and because Romine's in the game, Chris Herman's in the game, and how important your bench is going to be, especially this time of the year. You guys are tired. You have all this heat that is out there. It's going to be a long road trip. They're in the middle of playing 20 games in a row. And the big responsibility for somebody like Andrew Romine is to play defense and pick up a little bit of offense when you can.
That is not too shabby. Base hit. Good start to the Mariners' 5th. Got ahead in the count. Made it work for him.
And you know, it's not an easy job at all. And he has really carved out a nice career because he can play anywhere in the field. Primera Supremo in the swing, and there's a solid line drive.
And the beauty of being a switch hitter, too.
Yep, all helps, and he runs well.
I think early on in spring training, we watched him for like a week and change. I think we both looked at each other and said, he's the utility guy.
Yeah. I think when you watch him play all over the place, including the outfield, D dropping down a bunt.
Long making the play. Sacrifice 1-3. Good bunt by D.
I think he was trying to take it with him. He wanted to get it past Colon, but I think it hits towards the end of the bat. Yeah, he wanted to get that ball past Colon. He will advance the runner.
Brings up Mitch Haniger looking for his first hit tonight. Fly to right, ground out to third. 2 for 6 last night. What a big hit he had. A 1-out double. Actually, it was an E5 with a man aboard, and he doubled in the 12th inning. Came around to score on the single by Healy. That came with 2 outs.
Mitch has actually swung the bat pretty well over the last week or so. A number of the guys in the lineup in July was a difficult month for him, but he appears to be back on track.
0-2. Long look by Colon. He's ahead 0-2. Gets through the catcher Chirinos. Romine to third.
A breaking ball, I would assume that's a wild pitch, although he probably should have kept it in front of him.
Wild pitch indeed.
Yeah, the Mariners will take it.
A runner at third now. 1-2 pitch to Haniger. Take there, 2-2. Two and two. Colon deals outside.
For somebody that throws his fastball 81% of the time, it's been 3 breaking balls in a row to Haniger. Span waiting on deck. It's rare to see him throw 3 breaking balls in an inning.
Yeah, right.
3 in a row.
3-2 pitch. High fly ball left field. Tagging is Romine. Here's Calhoun with the catch. Romine coming home. Airmailed that throw. Not close. Romine scores easily. Sac fly Haniger. His 70th run batted in. Mariners draw a little bit closer. It's 5-4. Nice work by Mitch.
A swing by Mitch jams him a little bit. Skies it out to left field. Calhoun basically in his tracks out there. Does not have a strong throwing arm. Mentioned it earlier with Romine. Good speed.
Okay. 5-4 ball game. Here's Denard's spin. Ground out to second. A triple to center. Sharply hip it right to Odor. Throws out Span. Mariners get a run. They get a base hit, a sacrifice fly, a bunt, and a sac fly after a wild pitch worked in there, and it's 5-4 Rangers. Workers Local 191, investing in our future. And by Staples, the back to school specialty store. Let's try that one. How about that? On the 7th of August. You kids out there, enjoy the remaining days you have. And there's Jerry's World, AT Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, and many a big football game. Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo, Rougned Odor, Elvis Andrews. Choo 0 for 2, got an RBI ground out. 2-0. Felix, clean first 2 innings. 4 ground outs, strikeout, and pop up. Then 7 men came to the plate, 4 runs, 4 hits, and a third. 5th inning, an unearned run.
Well, one of the keys in this series was to try to stay away from the walks. So you look at the Rangers this year, they've had their struggles. They're 12th in hitting, but they are 2nd in walks. It's part of their offense, and they'll strike out a lot. And here's a walk right here, but Felix has the previous 2 walks that he had, both of them have scored, and now here's his 3rd walk.
Will be in Houston. Good matchup. James Paxton, career against Houston, 6-3 with a 2.59 ERA in 11 games. How about Verlander, 12-8 against the Mariners in 24 starts, with a 3.01 ERA.
That'll be a great matchup.
Be interesting to see how the Astros fare with Roberto Osuna having been added to the fold. He addressed the team. Verlander certainly has had his piece to say about the domestic violence charges against Osuna, who served a suspension, is now active. Here's Haniger for the out.
There's a breaking ball in the middle of the plate and elevated. Earlier with Odor, how hot he has been. Felix able to get away with it.
We'll bring up Elvis Andrus, got a base hit and an RBI back in the third. He's hit safely at 21 consecutive home games. Longest hit streak for Texas since Nelson Cruz back in 2010. And he hit 21 consecutive games. Mariner RBIs tonight. Cruz a home run, Seager a home run, RBI triple Span, sac fly by Haniger. First pitch strike. Just didn't like it. Adam Homari.
That's a good pitch.
Adam Homari, the home plate umpire. Out there again, 1-1. Maybe a few steps towards right out there in center field. Ground ball. Seager goes to Gurney, double clutch. They'll just get the one.
Andrus runs well. I'm not sure they would have been able to turn it anyway. Renera Supermo. Too hopper to Kyle. Has to give a little ground. Get a better bounce.
There's Beltre with man at first. Off the glove of Seager. Andrus to third. So another E5 for Kyle. Tough night for him.
Strange night. Starts off with a home run and now a couple of errors. And he's talked about it all year, probably having his best year fielding, but a tough night tonight in the field. This goes right off the end of his glove. No, off the thumb again. Just closed it early again. That happened twice. He ended up picking up the first error. Strange.
An E5 in the fourth, an E5 here in the fifth. When you see that, you hope the yips don't develop.
Oh, they won't. I think Kyle has been around for so long. I don't think it's going to bother him. Right now he's looking at his glove trying to figure it out.
Profile, a couple of ground outs, 0 for 2. So here's Felix pitching in the fifth. 1 strikeout, walk 3. 2 of the walks have scored. 5 runs on 4 hits.
Good play by Herman.
They had a play in the Giants-Houston game. The ball got away from the catcher. I think it was Tyler White at third. Bumgarner on the mound. White tried to score, and Bumgarner erased him at the plate. I mean, he got a leg down there as he caught the ball, got his leg down. It was a heck of a play.
He's a big man to block the plate.
Hey, man, big country strong dude from North Carolina, you bet. That deep voice. That's hit well, right field. Going back and gone. Profar, 3-run homer. Profar, 12th home run, takes his RBI total to 60.
And the Rangers now 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And
18th home run given up by Felix.
Romero Supermo. It's going to be a breaking ball that's left at the top of the strike zone, 78 miles an hour, and he barrels it up.
Couple of big innings here for the Rangers. 4 in the third, 3 more here in the fifth. Gallo's 6th man to the plate here in the inning.
You and I have talked about it through the years coming into this ballpark. Walks and errors, those extra outs will hurt you.
They have tonight.
Yes.
And pretty much immediately, too. And the E5 could have been a double play in the fourth, led to a run, and then another one here. And a walk.
There was a walk in the third that scored, a walk in the fourth that scored.
My goodness, he hit that a long way.
It's a tendency to do that from time to time.
He keeps it fair 29 times so far this season. And for a big guy, and they put him in, they finished the game with him in center field last night.
Yeah, he started in left, went to center, playing right tonight, and
he can play first, he can play third. And he is truly one-dimensional as a hitter. 0-2 strikes. Look out. Base hit.
Felix now at 69 pitches.
Trying to get that third out here. He's got Chirinos, who walked and scored and reached on a Seager error in the fourth. First 2 innings were brilliant by Felix. Not so the last 3 here. Not all of it his fault. His 57th start against the Rangers, the most starts against any team in the majors, followed by 53 starts against the Angels and 49 against the A's. His most wins are against the A's, 26-11. Then 19-24 against Texas, 16-18 against the Angels. Oh, 2 strikes.
.72 pitches for Felix. Nobody getting loose in the pen. It's a great ballpark to hit in.
I mean, all the conditions are ripe. It's hot. Good wind flow. And as you always mention, and accurately so, a fast track.
Yeah, it really is. And ball will get through the gaps in a hurry here. The infield, too, for that matter.
Full count. The guys in the bullpen in the chair. I think Vincent just got up. Three and two to Chirinos. Runner goes. Pitch. Hit him. Brother. Chirinos got hit last night in the 7th inning. Got hit on the hand.
That was on his wrist, it looked like. Trying to check his swing. Metal Stoudemire heading out to the mound.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Eighth man coming to the plate here in the 5th inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, and an error so far in this frame. Runners at first and second. Brings up Willie Calhoun. He's hit the ball hard twice. Line drive single to center and a sacrifice fly. Hit pretty well in the 4th.
It was a line drive to center also.
Goes.
Pops this one up.
Seager, he's got room. So 3 runs, 2 hits, and there were 2 left. Big blow. Jurickson Profar in a 2-1 pitch. Rode one out, a 3-run shot. 8-4 Rangers.
Big time. You know, this is, you know, with Felix Hernandez, you know, we've all seen him at his best, and you know, right now just watching him and how frustrated he is in between pitches, it feels like it's just a snowball effect. It looked like early on he was in some kind of a rhythm, had that feel, he was loose, messed around with Beltre. You want to see that. You want to see the same characteristics of when things are going well, but as that game went on, it was just that snowball effect of not making that pitch, that base hit, and all of a sudden, everything just enters into the head, that doubt, and then here we are.
Are you pitching this ballpark much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
It's
especially
really
on a night
tough.
like tonight.
Yeah, it really is. And look, not to sit here and, you know, make excuses for myself or anyone, but it's hot, it's humid, the ball flies, and it can get you real quick.
We were just talking about and how fast the field is too,
Yeah.
but more importantly, it's one of those things. Nelson hits this hard, barrels it up to center. Tochi will handle it, but I mean, this ballpark, you really. You have to stay away from mistakes, walks, hit batters, things like that. All and those extra things end up catching up with you, and we've seen that tonight. We saw it last night in the 7th inning too.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, just big innings. And they've got some guys here in this Rangers lineup who can crush mistakes. You get those 2-0, 2-1 counts, they'll make you pay if you are not making those pitches. The biggest thing though with this and what you try and avoid, especially when you're in a situation like Felix, and look, I've been there. 2010, I was struggling, and you lose sleep every single night. You try and process what it is, search for the answers. You try to watch video of when things were going well and process everything that's going on. I remember pitching out here in 2010. I can't even remember what part of the year it was, but it was that what is going to happen next problem you have in your head when you throw that pitch down and away, whack, it's getting crushed. When things are good, the exact same pitch is getting rolled over, and that can be a tough place to be in.
Only imagine. 1-1 here to Kyle Seager, who's homered and popped out the short.
Well, I guess that is also part of the good news here is the Mariners have time to get back in this ball game. The Rangers have struggled this year. Kyle with a home run already. The ball is flying tonight. So you just have to keep at it, right? I mean, just make Cologne pitch. If he wants to walk you or pitch around you, take your walks, and hopefully somebody will run into one. The Mariners already with a couple of home runs. Yeah,
he's been struggling too. Last 3 starts, he's been giving up ERA over 8, and you can see right now 2-1 count. He's been getting a ton of them. These lefties have been doing some damage against him.
Kyle gets into one, right center field. Got pretty good carry going back and making the catch out there, Joey Gallo. 2 down. Right. Going towards the 377 mark out there. 2 away, and that'll bring up Ryan Healy. We were talking about Gallo earlier. Big guy, one-dimensional swinging the bat, but he's a good athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's amazing too. This is a guy, and he's turned it on a little bit as well. Not that he's made that adjustment where he's crushing the ball the other way, but just even that tough pitch, Felix, that pitch down and away, that sinking pitch down and away, and just boom and shoot it to left center field. But yeah, he's another guy too that when you watch hit and if he can eliminate some of those just bad swings, get a little bit better over that bat, you're looking at that average start to creep up, that on base creep up, and then you cannot expand the zone the way you can with him at the moment.
Here's Healy, a couple of ground outs to short. Fouls this one off. 1-1.
Well, Ryan, you had some good outings here too. JJ was telling me that you had a 2.92 here.
There you go. That's not too bad.
No, I'll take this ballpark. That's great.
Yeah, look, the things that stick in my mind though, definitely, especially even, I flew in this morning, and this is my first game here today, and just the heat. I got off the plane, and the heat just crushed me. And you know what's funny? I was complaining about the heat. I was at Seafair on the weekend. I was like, oh, the sun's stinging a bit. And then I got off the plane here. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that was nothing. But,
humidity, that humidity put a cloak over your head, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It just reminds you of pitching in some of the weather and things that you just can't see on TV.
Third time Healy's grounded out to Elvis Andrews. Ryan, catch you on the postgame show, man. Good to see you. Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us here in the 6th. It's an 8-4 Rangers lead. Ground ball by Beltre. Here's Profar on a 2-1 pitch. 5th inning, 3-run homer. And that has expanded the lead to 8-4 for Profar. Home run number 12. And this is RBI total 260. Felix still in there. He's got Carlos Tochi, the center fielder. He's 1 for 2, laid down a bunt and reached into third, and that started a 4-run inning. It's the third leg. Getting that started. The bottom 3 guys got on board. And Herman, where's that one? Shake it off.
Felix, 78 pitches, 49 strikes. Quickly ahead of Tochi, the center fielder, hitting 9th in the lineup.
Tochi, Chu, and Odor in the 6th. Let's see this foul ball. And they got Adam Omari a little bit.
It's right off Chris's foot and bounced straight up.
Tochi down on strikes for Felix, his 2nd strikeout. One away here in the 6th. Hey, Mariner fans, save time and money when you use the Link Light Rail to come to your next Mariners game. It's both affordable and convenient with Safeco Field just 15 minutes from the UW station and 33 from Angle Lake. For more information, visit mariners.com/go. Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo. 0 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. Felix has given up 8 runs, 4 of them earned. 6 hits, walked 3, 2 of the walks scored, and he struck out 2. Long, loud foul. Felix's last victory beat Kansas City back on June 30th, going 5 innings of 6 hit, 3-run ball, walk and 5 strikeouts.
Good breaking ball for a strike. He's had a good curveball tonight. Get him a chase.
3-2. Second time Felix has given up 8 runs this season. Second start at the Giants. 4 innings, 6 hits, 8 runs all earned. Here, these 8 runs, 4 of them are earned. And another walk to Chu. 4th walk of the game. Mill discussing things and see the frustration on both. See if the Mariners can get a double play off the bat of Odor. He hit a 2-run double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Odor crushes this deep to right. My goodness, can't get it. Haniger, great effort. That thing exploded off his bat. He's driven in 4 runs. That's his 14th home run. Gives him 44 runs batted in and double digits for the Rangers, 10-4.
I think Felix misses his location. It looked as if Herman was set up on the outside corner. Odor, he likes to pull the ball. So trying to pitch away, and I think ends up middle in. Primera Supermo, the high leg kick from Odor, and you can see Herman reaching back towards the plate. That's probably middle in. Towering fly ball, has just enough of it to clear the fence.
Elvis Andrews, 1 for 3. That one's hit pretty well. Maben giving chase, going back on the track, into the fence, makes the catch. Cameron Maben, well done.
What a great catch. Andrus has also been hot. He had a hit earlier in the game to extend his hitting streak to 18 games.
Into the fence goes Maben, and he holds on. It's our T-Mobile built for baseball. Thank goodness for padding.
And great timing. Tremendous timing. He catches this an inch before it hits the wall.
And he knew it was coming too. That's big time. Beltre. That one hit center field. Maben back, going back, goodbye. Beltre with a home run, his second career off of Felix. Looks like he's going to get the last laugh here tonight after striking out on a terrific curveball in the second. For Adrian, his 6th home run, 34th run batted in. He wasted no time.
Yeah, it's on the first pitch, a breaking ball. He's trying to steal a strike, and he was looking for it. Timed it up right on the barrel, and Maben cannot bring that one back.
A terrible inning. It's a mile-high pop-up, higher than the one Gallo hit earlier, profile. That pop-up puts the end of the carnage in the 6th, 11-4, the Rangers. Fans in attendance here. It has not gone well these last few innings. Alex Hernandez, short end, 11-4. Texas Bartolo Colon still on the mound here for the Rangers. The 11 runs given up by Felix, the most he's given up in a contest in his career. Twice given up 10. Herman, Maben, and Romine here in the 7th. Herman 1 for 2. He got a base hit to right in the second inning.
And Colon throwing strikes, 81 pitches, 50 strikes, and pretty much everything away.
1 strikeout, no walks.
Chris trying to hit the ball the other way a little bit late. Chasen Bradford getting loose out in the pen. Chasen was the only reliever that did not pitch in last night's game.
This is Calhoun backing up. Put away here in the 7th. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. This game delivers an all-new franchise mode. Much, much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. So look at the lowest average fastball velo. LeBlanc, Suter, Hendricks, Jason Vargas, former Mariner, and Bartolo Colon. Cameron Maben 1 for 2. Brilliant catch. Top half of this inning, taking extra bases away from Andrews.
That was just a terrific catch.
Back there with supreme confidence too, and he knew.
Well, he ran to a spot, never broke his stride, timed his jump, and he knew that wall was going to hit him immediately, and it did. And he's still able to hang on to it. It's just a great catch and a base hit.
Second hit for Cameron. The 2-strike hitting.
There's Merritt.
Calhoun boots it out there, so maybe we'll take second.
Base hit, he's 7. Andrew Romine, 1 for 2. Had a base hit, line drive into left field and scored a run.
Evan Grant of the Dallas Morning News reporting that Felix and Austin Bibbins Dirks, who did it in relief, are the only pitchers to surrender 11 runs in a game this season. Romine with a base hit and a run scored back in the 5th. 1 for 2, hit into a double play in the 2nd. Mariners got off to an exciting start. 2nd inning. Nelly on a 3-0 count leading off the 2nd. A monster home run left field. Seager came up next, worked a 3-2 count. He blasted one out right field, so it's 2-0 Mariners. They added another run in the 3rd. D. Gordon tripled, and an out later, Span tripled to bring him home, so it's 3-0 Mariners. But then bottom 3, the Rangers strike for 4 runs, and this one drilled. Going back is Tochi, makes the catch. Maben with tag. There's 2 outs. Maben to 3rd. In that Texas 3rd inning, bottom 3rd of the order. Walk, base hit, bunt, loads him up. Then an RBI ground out, 2-run double by Odor, and an RBI single Andrews. So a 4-3 lead. They had another unearned run. Willie Calhoun a sac fly in the 4th, and then in the 5th inning, they get 3 runs all unearned. Top of the order, D. Gordon.
He with a triple back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2, scored a run. Denard Span drove him in.
So far, a 3-run homer in the 5th and a 2-run homer Odor, and a solo blast by Beltran in the 6th. That's how we got here to 11-4. D 1 for 2, triple in the sacrifice. Gene Segura getting the night off, so is Mike Zunino.
D, one of the few hitters that Colon has tried to pitch inside. Last pitch probably middle, and it was elevated about belt high. Just stayed away, away, away.
One-two pitch to D.
He's now at 93 pitches, so this will probably be his last inning.
Two and two. Big Sexy making the catch. 45 years young. 7 complete. And he heads to the dugout with a big lead. A bullet. Pitcher involved in fielding plays here tonight. 4 for Cologne and 3 for Felix. And yeah, he should laugh. Today. Tough night, difficult night to say the least after a fine start. Mariners on the short end, 11-4. Felix, this is what he put up on the ledger tonight.
6 innings, 8 hits, 11 runs, 7 of them earned. At 4 walks, a couple of strikeouts. He threw 90 pitches.
11 runs, 7 earned, 11 runs the most he's given up in a game. Time now for Beacon Plumbing called to the pen.
Chasen Bradford will take over 35 appearances on the year, a 3.29 ERA. 31 strikeouts over 8 walks, bonus inning 245 against Chasen. To the 12 innings for the Mariners last night. Chasen the only one that did not pitch. Scott will try to get a couple of innings out of him.
And he shaved his beard since we last saw him. Down to Fu Manchu. First hitter's Joey Gallo. Gallo tonight popped to third, walked and scored, base hit to center.
Well, Bradford, his fastball in the low 90s, has a slider.
It's a bullet to left, to right field base. Big part at the base of the fence. Haniger, good strong throw, got a chance, and he's out. Nicely done by the all-star right fielder.
What a great throw.
Brilliant throw. It's good stuff.
It's over his head and barehanded play and throws a strike. It's one hop. Kyle Seager, because of the shift, is covering second base and tags him right on the hand. Barehanded play, and he's the great arm.
We've seen him do that barehanded thing a bunch this year.
Good look at the tag by Kyle. It's almost kicked in the face.
Haniger's 10th assist leads the league. Chirinos walked and scored, reached on an error by Kyle Seager, and was hit by a pitch. Kyle right on the spot. 2 away. Stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Angie Mentink and Ryan Roland Smith is right here in the ballpark. I'll have it for you at the conclusion of tonight's ball game. 2 outs for Willie Calhoun. Base hit, run scored in the 3rd, a sac fly in the 4th, and fouled out to Seager in the 5th inning.
Calhoun, another aggressive hitter, young hitter. Ball hard a couple of times tonight. Popped up to 3rd and a couple of line drives out towards center field. One of them for a base hit. Another sac fly.
Bradford 1-1. Healy is right there. Bradford does the job, gets over. 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. 8th inning coming up. Haniger, Span, and Cruz for the Mariners. Jack in the Box for a limited time. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by BNSF Railway, sponsor the BNSF Blast. Here in Arlington, Texas, you're looking at Globe Life Park. It's been all Rangers since the home 3rd. Mariners had a 3-0 lead by Arturo Colon, the big sexy himself. 7 innings of 8-hit ball, Mikey. He did what he did.
Well,
he did what he do.
Yeah, well, the Mariners are able to get to him early in the ball game, and then some run support that you were talking about, Dave, and he settled in. 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. They were earned. Gave up a couple of home runs. He threw 94 pitches. Jeffrey Springs will take over. 2.25 ERA, just his 3rd appearance on the year. Opponent's hitting 167. Fastball, slider, changeup. His average fastball 92 miles an hour.
Haniger for 2, sac fly to his credit. Mariners hit a 2-0 and 3-0 lead. 11 unanswered. Check that. Mariners got one in the 5th, beg your pardon. That swings through. Sac fly by Haniger in the 5th inning. Haniger, Span, and Cruz, 2, 3, 4 in the order here, 8th inning.
That's a changeup that wasn't close.
I know it's hot.
Well, here it is. A number of changeups that this one's off the plate away. He gives him the call. Mitch can't believe it. I don't blame him. He has a pretty good idea of the strike zone, and he knows that was well off the plate.
Adam Hamari's got balls and strikes tonight.
This is the first time we've seen Jeffrey Springs. A two-seamer, running fastball with a changeup, occasional slider.
Since we last saw Texas, how about the turnover in their pen? Kayla gone. Pittsburgh. Diekman, Arizona. Just to name a couple. Span tonight, a triple and 2 ground outs the second. Houston already in the books with a 2-1 win at San Francisco. Top of the first, Dodgers at Oakland, no score. Manaea against Rich Hill. Yankees trail at the White Sox 1-0, top 7. Profar leads the Springs 2 out. Two outs here in the 8th, and this season when you're at Safeco Field, do not forget to visit the Seattle Children's Playfield. It's designed for both children and parents. Whole family can enjoy playground, wishing well, concessions, team store, and TV monitors, so you don't miss a single pitch. Nelson Cruz went boomstick for the 30th time on a 3-0 pitch in the second inning. Since then, Beltre had a nice play on him in the 3rd, and he lined out the center in the 6th.
That home run was number 30 for Nelson.
Two out, nobody on, 8th inning. Breaking ball, 1-2. There's Red Sox coming off a sweep of the Yankees. They are 5-5, top of the 10th in Toronto. Cleveland losing at home to Minnesota 3-0 in the 3rd.
Dodgers and A's just getting started.
And Detroit at the Angels, 1-0 Tigers in the 1st. Wade LeBlanc's 34th birthday, Mike Trout's 27th.
Robinson Cano 1 for 4.
There you go.
A DH today for Tacoma. Played first base yesterday and was 1 for 3. And he will join the team on Tuesday in Oakland.
You're welcome with open arms, right?
Yes, of course.
2-2 to Nelly.
I think that would be a problem for him at all.
Somebody asked me that question.
Popular guy in the clubhouse, and
hey, he served his time.
Yeah,
he served his time.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
He did the crime, he did the time. Now we need your bat. We're glad to have you back.
That helps too.
Payoff pitch. 2-out base runner.
That will bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle is 1 for 3 with a home run. Kyle is 19th home run on the year.
Put Odor out about 30 paces in short right field. Shift for Seager, ball 1.
Missing with a couple of breaking balls. A good count for Kyle. 2-0.
Stand away from me. Fastball 92 for a strike.
And taking all the way, as he should with the score the way it is. He's swinging right here if he gets the same fastball. Fastball was middle in, probably about belt high.
2 outs, runner on, 8th inning. Flipping to Beltre, just wins the race. A 6-5 force on Nelly, inning over.
Well timed all the way, catches it just before it hits the padding at center field. Knows he's going to have to give up his body. He's willing to do that and makes a great catch.
And he's doubled his pleasure with a couple of hits. 2 for 3. Carlos Tochi leads off. Guillermo Heredia giving Mitch Haniger a blow out in right field.
Mitch was 0 for 3 tonight, but picked up an RBI and an outfield assist. It's 10th.
So impressive throwing it. By now, you'd think that reputation's all over the league. 10 assists he has now, which leads the league. Solid base hit here. I told you.
I think one of the things that we have seen is third base coach will hold up the runners, but the runners always try him. You know, without a coach stopping him, they're going to try him.
Good point. Yeah, there've been, I bet there's at least a half a dozen times we've seen third base coaches go, yo, hey, ho, ho,
right away
ho,
now.
ho.
Not early, but lately, they've definitely stopped him right away on a base hit. They don't try him anymore, but players tend to be a little more aggressive.
Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out, walked twice and scored a run. Bradford on in relief. Felix Hernandez, 6 innings rather, 8 hits, 11 runs, 7 earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 3 home runs. Looking for Chu to pull. Fouls this one off. They really put on a shift for Joey Gallo. Lomine and Gordon back out. 30 paces, about 15 paces for Seager.
Normally you would see D out on the grass, but situation with a base runner on trying to turn double play, he has to shorten it up. That's why he's in on the dirt.
Chu walks for the 3rd consecutive plate appearance. Take a look at the calendar coming up for the Mariners. Wrap it up tomorrow. Day game here against the Rangers. Then go to Houston for 4. A's for 3. Day off Thursday a week. The Dodgers come to town, followed by the Astros for the 2nd time in about 3 weeks. We'll see more NL West, Arizona, and San Diego, and then the A's again. So you can see how important all these games are as we get deeper into the last month of the regular season. Odor's driven in 4 tonight. Healy will get that runner, and Bradford covering. Odor beats it out.
Play by Ryan Healy. High bounding ball. Odor runs well, so it's been difficult to turn 2.
1 out, runners at the corners.
It showed you the catch by Maben. It was Andrews that hit the ball out to center field. He has an 18-game hitting streak with the base hit he had tonight.
First pitch strike.
That's a good slider, a cutter on the outside corner.
Nice movement. 0-2. Right to Healy, double play. Needed that. Well, here we go, last ups. When we come back, Healy, Herman, and Maben, 6, 7, and 8 in the order. 11-4 Rangers. all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Last chance here for the Mariners. A monster rally here. Healy, Herman, and Maben against Jeffrey Springs, who took over for Bartolo Colon. Colon going 7 innings of 8 hit, 4-run ball, all earned, no walks, 1 strikeout, gave up 2 home runs. Healy tonight, 3 ground outs to shortstop. Now line drive knocked down by Odor. And a pick by Profar to retire Healy.
That line drive handcuffed him a little bit. Struggling a little bit, and a poor throw. Profar picking him up. Herman 1 for 3. Base hit into right field.
Strike 1 to Chris. Through 3, the Mariners had 3 runs on 6 hits. 1 run on 2 hits since then. Oh, that hit the on-deck hitter. G. Gordon. Holy mackerel.
Maben.
Oh, it's Maben. Jeez Louise, did that hit him?
Cue right off the end of the bat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that way. He's all right.
Boy, that's scary.
Just minding his own business, trying to get his timing. Hits him right in the thigh.
Foul tip. You ever been hit like that?
No.
Golly.
Been close many times, but didn't actually get hit.
One out, nobody on, 2-2. To Herman with Maben on deck. Maben said a good night, 2 for 3. Terrific catch up against the fence. This backs up Robinson a long way into the fence, can't make the play. Herman will shut it down right there with the double. A lot of carry on that.
Well, the other way, he's hit the wall to left field a couple of times, but this has some carry right on the barrel. Robinson going back, kind of turns him around as he slams into the wall out there. Another base hit for Herman. A base hit into right field. One out to left, and then picks up a double.
Maben no worse for wear after being hit by a foul ball. One out runner at second. 2 for 3 night for him. Couple of base hits to left. Strike 1. Another base hit. If it stays fair, just hooked foul. Third base umpire Ryan Blackney on the case. Stinging the ball, that's a good sign.
Just out in front of a little bit. Thought had a chance to hit the line, but it is foul. Not by much.
0-2 pitch here to Cameron. Stopped by Chirinos. 1-2. Wrap up this series tomorrow. Marco Gonzalez against Giovanni Gallardo. First pitch at 11:05 Pacific. Two.
Change up right off the end of the bat.
Odor right there. 2 outs. Coming to third.
First time seeing Springs work out of the bullpen. Fastball at 92. Looks like he wants to pitch at the top of the zone with his fastball because of his changeup, and he will throw his changeup a lot. That's a pretty good one.
Thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow here in Arlington. In fact, for the next 7 days. Threat of thunderstorms. There's Romine. That's off the end of the bat. Profar will take it himself. And that is your ball game. Mariners had a 3-0 lead. Couldn't hold it. Rangers win it 11-4. Big Sexy. Bartolo Colon outpitches Felix Hernandez.
Tough night for the Mariners tonight. And as you mentioned, Colon finally settled in. They were able to get to him early, but settled in after that. Had some run support. Good news for the Mariners. They have a chance to win a series right back with a day game tomorrow before they move on to Houston.
So the final 11-4 even the series at a game apiece. 2 hours and 26 minutes on the time of game. We take a short timeout. Mariners post game will be up next.